Hey everybody, John Deere here from John Deere's Embroidery Legacy, and today I'm going to share with you how to secure something in a hoop when it's really large and you want to reduce movement. But I want to be clear, this is for items that you don't really care if they're marked or not. And what I mean by that is I'm going to use the example of freestanding lace. So we're going to be actually using T-pins to help secure our actual stabilizer, because this is a product that dissolves away in hot water, so I really don't care if I put holes in it. If I'm using a fine fabric that will actually see the penetration from the pins, then this technique might not work. But we're going to use it with our lace designs, and if you've ever had a chance to run our lace designs, you know that they are uniquely special and beautiful because they were manually punched one stitch at a time back in the 1950s. And we have some incredibly large lace designs. I'm talking about lace designs that will actually fit a hoop this size. What happens when you have that many stitches of lace in a hoop this size with just one piece of stabilizer? You'll end up getting movement. And the reason why is because most of the frames that I found within the commercial industry are standardly this shape. They're round. That means that I have even tension all the way around my material, and it's not going to have a tendency to pull quite as much. In the home market, all of our hoops have a tendency of being rectangular, which means that the four corners are going to hold really tight, and then on these straightaways, and particularly these long straightaways, that's where we get the pulling. Now you have to remember, with lace, it's very important that everything is held securely, because if any of those stitches do not lock along the way, if the stabilizer starts to pull and you have some areas that aren't connecting, then when you wash away the stabilizer, it's literally going to disintegrate and fall apart. Now the way we're going to secure the stabilizer so that we guarantee it's not going to move is by using our T-pins. These are very thick T-pins, and we're going to take our stabilizer, which is a wet and gone stabilizer. It does disappear with very hot water, and we're going to cut a piece of stabilizer to fit our hoop size. And I'm going to lay my base of my hoop down. I'm going to make sure that my stabilizer is centered right over top of it, and then I'm going to make sure that I hoop it in place, leaving enough extra stabilizer on each of the open ends, the long ends that I see, and I'm going to then pull it nice and tight all the way around. Normally when I'm hooping, I try to not pull on my material, but in this situation I want to make sure that the stabilizer is secured as much as possible. I usually also tell people that the area on your hoop where you actually can tighten it and where you could slide a screwdriver in, I always tell them that usually you never like to tighten that after the fact, because you can leave hoop burn within an item. But in this situation, I don't care if I create hoop burn because it's going to dissolve away anyways, so I'll make sure that I tighten that as much as I can. So I'm going to use my little screwdriver here, and I'm going to go into the slot on this hoop, and I'm going to make sure that it is super tight on both sides. Once I know that it's tightened down, I'm going to make sure that I give it that little oomph all the way around the edges so that my hoops are securely put in, so that the top and the bottom part of the hoop are actually equal, and I can see that it's raised a little bit from the bottom right here. Now I know that my hoop is flush right across the top, and I'm ready to insert my T-pins to stop any movement. Now we're going to start inserting our T-pins, and I'm going to make sure that I go in right flush to the frame, and then I can slide my pin over and make sure that I lock it in place. This way, when it starts to pull on the actual fabric, on the stabilizer, it's going to pull it in, and what's going to stop it dead in its tracks is the T-pin itself. And I'll continue to put these T-pins in all the way around all of the open areas of the frame, specifically along this side here. I'll put one on each side here, and I'll move all the way around to make sure that I am secured, and that way I'm going to have zero movement in this design, and it's going to come out perfect every single time. So now we have all of our pins inserted all the way around all the open areas, and that way we know that as this runs and it starts to pull in on the stabilizer, these T-pins are going to stop the stabilizer dead in its tracks, and we're going to get perfect placement and perfect hooping of that lace design every single time. Now we finished running the lace design on our hoop, and keep in mind this is almost 30,000 stitches of freestanding lace that was run on one layer of stabilizer. And what I want you to notice is how drum tight this still is, even after putting all those stitches on this piece of stabilizer. This is going to wash away and it's going to stay connected in every area. It's not going to fall apart at all. Now, a little bit of advice when you're running freestanding lace: I try not to use polyester thread. It has a tendency to look a little spongy and wiry when it's done. If you want your lace designs to look nice and flat and be soft when they're done, I suggest using rayon thread, keeping in mind that rayon is not as strong as polyester, but it's not synthetic and it has a more natural feel to it. If you really want to have good results, I would suggest pre-winding your bobbins with the same thread as your top thread. That way your lace is going to look perfect on the top and the bottom. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and give this technique a try on any design that has a lot of stitches and any fabric where you don't mind if it's been marked by some T-pins. Hi everyone, John Deere here, and thanks for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with all of your friends. Also, to become part of the legacy, be sure to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell to be notified every time we release a new weekly video. So join the legacy now. It's no mystery, award-winning embroidery is our history.